About 3 weeks ago, I met a girl. No offense to her, but compared to other women I have dated, especially my ex, she is not as physically attractive. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say she is a 5. Honestly, physical appearance has always been important to me, especially since my own looks gave me the freedom to choose. But something strange happened. After my ex, I met several other women, and the more I talked to them, the less interested I became, each for different reasons. But with this girl, it was the opposite. One day we were picking a movie, and when I asked if she was okay with the one I chose, she replied, "If you are good, I am good too." And something just clicked in my brain. After being in a toxic relationship where my ex acted like she was some kind of prize I had to earn every day, it hit me that she never really cared how I was doing. It was always about her. But this new girl, being with her is incredibly comfortable. She is always worried about my comfort, and I must say this is super attractive to me. Even though, like I said, she is not the most attractive by my usual standards, I genuinely do not care. We are both 30, and I know we are just getting to know each other, but time will tell where this goes. Has something like this ever happened to you, where you did not expect much from a girl at first, but she ended up changing your whole perspective on her? I read you all. Story 1. Hi. I'm glad you are looking beyond appearance. As long as you truly do not mind and you are not feeling like you are missing out, then it is fine. However, do not ever say that to her. Never make her think that you do not find her attractive. Even if some time passes and the relationship is going well, and you become attracted to her looks alongside her personality, do not tell her that at the beginning you did not view her as a catch. Good luck with your relationship. Story 2. When I realized she would actually pause to ask me questions when I talked, remembered and followed up on things, I always got a "how are you doing?" or "what do you think about?" when we saw each other. It made me realize how deprived I was of reciprocity, receiving curiosity back, and how self-centered my ex-partners were. I actually had room to share about myself instead of being stuck in listening, consoling, or responding mode. I didn't realize it until around the 1-month mark when it made me think, this is different. Story 3. When I was out mowing the lawn, she brought me a beer. When I was done, she had another beer and a sandwich ready for me. I immediately saw she was wife material, and now we happily have 5 children together. Story 4. She invited me to her apartment after the first date, smoked marijuana with me, and cuddled with me. I wasn't that into her, but it felt comfortable, and I couldn't get enough of her. We were together 4 years. Story 5. You know you have matured in relationships when physical looks no longer take center stage but character. Story 6. I was sitting with friends yesterday and noticed how people generally enjoyed being around me, and I enjoyed being around them. A female friend of mine was friendly and enthusiastic towards me. I thought, why don't I look for that in relationships? I had the same realization in my mind that you described. Story 7. I saw the opposite happen with my friends. The man, my friend since we were 10 or 11, met this woman at a party. She has only been my friend since they met and started dating back in 1999. She did not like him at first. She thought he was too loud, sang bad songs, and told worse jokes. A little time passed, they got to know each other better, and this next November they will have been together for 26 years. Married since January 2006, with 2 pretty cool kids. Story 8. I think this is you being mature. I am embarrassed to admit that when I was younger I was way too hung up on looks. Now that I have matured a bit, I am not worried about what anyone else thinks. Of course, there has to be some attraction, but I am definitely more interested in the person's character. I hope it works out for the 2 of you. Story 9. As you get older and seek more long-term commitment, your priorities shift. Flings are great when you are 20 and your whole life is ahead of you, but not so good at age 42 when you still haven't found someone for a stable relationship. Attractiveness is appealing and lasts a while, but the effect fades. What doesn't fade is whether your partner respects you, supports you, and genuinely pursues your happiness. Some, but not all, attractive women become selfish. They do not need to work harder at relationships since they have their pick of men when younger. However, as they get older, this preference diminishes. There are definitely variations, and some women exhibit both traits, But in my experience, those who value respect and support tend to receive proposals earlier. By age 30, the pool of available women has shrunk, and you must choose what matters most to you. Just my opinion, having dated until my 30s. Story 10. Personal looks are more of a baseline requirement. If I find someone attractive, then it is enough. It is their personality that really makes or breaks whether I will be very interested, and you usually do not know that right away. Most of the women I have been very attracted to were people I was drawn to after I learned about their personality. Story 11. I am dating someone who makes me feel safe, loved, and valued. Objectively, by society's standards, I do not think he is that attractive, but I am very attracted to him. Story 12. You know when sometimes you meet someone so beautiful, and then you actually talk to them and 5 minutes later, they are as dull as a brick? Then there are other people you meet and you think, not bad, they are okay. And then you get to know them and their face just sort of becomes them, like their personality is written all over it. They turn into something so beautiful. Rory is the most beautiful man I have ever met. Story 13. When my ex-wife said she needed me to make twice what I currently made so that she could be a stay-at-home mom to 2 teenagers, that really hit me hard. I should have known it was over right then. Story 14. This is why many men end up marrying what they would call average-looking women, generally those who are easy to get along with. Many beautiful women are used to getting everything they want but cannot see past the glimmer of their own reflection. Many do not consider the needs or feelings of the men they date. This is not a universal rule, but I have observed it frequently in my youth. A couple of my very attractive friends never found a husband. Their boyfriends would happily use them for sex, even long-term, but would not marry them. It does not seem right or ethical, but it is what it is. Story 15. Average-looking women and men by necessity have to work to build a bunch of other skills and qualities to be able to compete with the conventionally attractive in the dating pool. No one ever has it completely easy, so I am certainly not trying to criticize attractive people. However, if your looks are the primary reason you get certain things for most of your life, how will you know that most good and decent people value certain virtues? When you become conditioned to accepting the proverbial red carpet rolled out just for being yourself and have not had to work on reciprocity, for example, people will grow tired of you. For most people, looks will fade, so I think the lesson in what you are sharing is very important. Story 16. Just be aware of not becoming the woman you dated before this one. Be mindful of how easy it is to believe that her job is to give you what you want all the time. Story 17. It's great that you can now look past the physical attraction. However, it seems like what attracts you is her caring about you. Does she have other qualities that make you think she is attractive that aren't about how she makes you feel? For example, is she smart or kind towards others? Story 18. I don't date conventionally attractive people because they tend to have superficial views about the inherent value of a human being based on outward appearance due to privilege. This woman likely deserves better than you. It sounds like you think you are something to be earned or some kind of prize, and the value you find in her is that she is deferring to your preferences, so you are settling for her average status. That is unappealing. Story 19. A girl once bought me a drink. I hate that it is such a special and rare occurrence. It made me instantly fall for her. Story 20. The second great love of my life was like that. I did not find her attractive at first, but she changed over time and became the most beautiful woman to me for years. So yes, go for it, my friend. I found great happiness when this happened to me, and even though we did not last beyond 5 years, I do not regret it at all. Story 21. If you treat her the same way she treats you, and you both like each other, there is little reason to hold off. Life is about leaping and learning. I found everything I value most in my life when I was outside my comfort zone. Story 22. It is sometimes just little things that make you interested and attracted to a person, for example, liking their laugh or voice, or completely losing interest because they say something really dumb. I have known a couple of women whose laughs just filled my heart with joy. Another woman I was not attracted to, but then she spent 30 minutes talking about something we both had an interest in, and she knew way more about it than I did while being really smart, and it made me a whole lot more interested in her. Story 23. Many things made me take her more seriously, but most of them boil down to good and mature communication. She remembered things I told her. She asked me many questions about my life and how I was doing. She did things in response to what I shared without me asking or even knowing she would do it in the first place. She communicated how things made her feel or if something I did bothered her in a mature way. She told me when I did well and was honest with me when I made a mistake. If something really bothered her, she let me know that I needed to fix it without turning it into a screaming match. Once, she bought me a new razor simply because I mentioned, "Yeah, mine is pretty old, but it gets the job done." It didn't even occur to me that she would think to buy one for me in that moment. It's really about the small details. Communication, remembering things about you, being able to convey how things make you feel in a timely manner. Story 24. She sent me a text explaining that she needed a connection because I was taking her for granted. She needs a connection to be in a physical relationship. She does not let just anyone in. She said if her actions had affected me, she was sorry. It did not. It was not a big deal. She said she was unsure and explained why, and that her actions did not back up her words. She was sorry. She gave me a compliment on my calmness. She said if I did not share the desire for a connection, we could remain friends because she valued me, but she had to stop sleeping with me. We are not in a relationship, but that woman has not been out of line at all. No attention-seeking behaviors, no flirting, nothing. She is loyal. It was the accountability, the first woman besides my mother to do that. Story 25. The more attractive the woman, the less effort she knows she has to make. But it is relative. If you want a woman to love you and make an effort, choose someone a few points lower than your score. Looks fade anyway, and attractive but selfish women are the worst. Story 26. May this love never find me. You have to be attracted to your partner. 5 out of 10 is way too low. I would hate to find out my partner is not physically attracted to me. If you were an actual nice man, then you would not be with her. She deserves better. It is nice that you learned there is more to seek in a woman than physical attraction, but you have to find someone who has a great personality and who you think has great looks. Story 27. I went on a date with a woman who worked at my bank. She did not take it well when I told her I was not interested in seeing her again. She looked up my address, presumably at work, and showed up at my house one night. That was rather scary. Story 28. Okay. Looking at the girl, have a pleasant conversation with her for a bit. The British monarchy comes up. She starts ranting excitedly about the Jacobite claim to the throne and how the true English king is actually the Duke of Bavaria. I would have immediately fallen in love if I did not know her husband. Story 29. Happy for you that you have matured enough to look past physical appearances, but I would die if I came across a post calling me a 5 out of 10. Like another commenter said, never ever mention anything of that sort to her. I once had a guy say something similar to me about how I am much less attractive than the girls he normally goes for, but that he liked me a lot more, and it pretty much killed all attraction I had towards him. Story 30. My former wife, when I asked her why she wanted children, said to me, "Well, you don't eat healthy, and you're probably going to die young. I want to make sure someone will be around to take care of me when I get old." I thought she was joking. She was not. Story 31. Woman here. In any relationship, you've struck gold when you both see each other as special or not like the others. It's amazing for intimacy because even after years pass, you still put your best foot forward in words and actions. It's a two-way street, not just one person feeling lucky to be with the other because of money or looks. I was not purposely raised by my parents to be a people pleaser, and every man I had a long-term relationship with ended up taking me for granted. I was genuinely caring toward them but without boundaries or standards for how I expected to be treated. Over time, they realized they didn't have to do much because I would never leave them. Then, just a couple of years ago, I started practicing setting expectations and boundaries in a healthy way, and it's blown me away how valued I feel now by my partner. It's really true that if you learn to communicate that you value yourself, others will naturally value and respect you more as well. Self-perception genuinely affects external perception whether you are conventionally attractive or not. So love and respect yourself. That's my message to everyone reading this. You are just as good as anyone else, no better, but just as good. The bonus is it makes you more attractive too, even if you already have good looks. Never forget, confidence and standards aren't just in your head. They are real and have a real impact on all your personal and work relationships. But always remember to be kind too. Kindness and consideration are rare these days, as the original poster outlined in their post. They were moved by the simple fact that their partner really cares about what they want to do. So love and protect yourself the way a good parent would. But at the same time, always remember to be kind and considerate. Love the person you are with in the way they show you. They need to be loved, but don't forget to show them how to love you too. It should always go both ways. That way, you give to each other every day, and no one becomes big-headed or is made to feel small. When you are with someone who really sees you, cares about you, and respects themselves just as much, it's the most attractive and wonderful thing in the world. Story 32. I am like this with my partner. He is my top priority, and I do everything in my power to make his life comfortable and peaceful, including unlimited intimacy whenever he wants. He has given me the world, and I try my best to give him the stars. Also, my desire is extraordinary, so I am really just waiting for him to recover to be close to him again. Story 33. When I was sick, she made me my favorite meal from scratch. I wanted a can of a very particular tortilla soup. She then brought me homemade muffins for breakfast the next day, all unprompted. I immediately knew I was going to want to marry her. Story 34. Thank you for asking about this. If there is one thing I want my daughter to understand, it is that if she focuses on being healthy and takes care of herself, keeping her hair and clothes clean and being personally tidy, the man God chooses for her will fall in love with her personality and spirit. The physical attraction will be fine. I am not handsome by any means, but my wife and I celebrated 22 years of marriage yesterday, and we have been together for 25 years. Story 35. I was somewhat interested in an acquaintance's ex, who was more of a friend and barely a friend. Anyway, I ended up being closer to her than to them, although I'm not that close to her. She mentioned in passing, during a group chat with her and my actual friends, she brought one of them along, that she used to playfully tug on my friend's pubic hair because it would make his genitalia swell like a wacky inflatable arm-flailing tube man or party blower. Suddenly, the attraction disappeared. Story 36. I have a friend who is just like this. For him, it is important how somebody makes him feel. We were talking once, and he said, "Sure, she is pretty, but what else? You cannot spend your whole day just looking at her." Story 37. I'm a 22-year-old woman, so obviously I can't give you a man's perspective on this, but this happens to women too. From my experience, we didn't take long to realize that looks are not everything. For me, I realized this in high school when a guy who was very attractive started talking about other girls he liked in a very dehumanizing way. Suddenly, I lost all forms of attraction. Yet, a few weeks later, a guy from another class who was generally kind and attentive, though we had not talked much, had one of his friends refer to me in class as that girl or whatever. He immediately responded with, "She has a name, you know." That solidified my liking for him. I had never seen a guy correct and call out his own friends for being ignorant, especially in high school. I still remember him to this day for that and smile a little. Story 38. Yeah, that happened to me almost verbatim. Follow it wherever it takes you. They were the most amazing years of my life. Story 39. Not all attractive women are self-centered. You need to be physically attracted to your partner. Your wife reflects your worth and value in society. It is understandable if you want someone to care for you and hold you in high esteem, but this perception may change when your friends have attractive girlfriends or you work with women you find very appealing. Recognizing your own attractiveness helps you understand that people treat attractive individuals differently, and your partner may become insecure and seek validation from you, which can be exhausting. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.